You guys heard it, right? We are recording this tonight and putting it up on our YouTube channel, the Public Library's YouTube channel. And I apologize, I've been telling people all summer that we were gonna have all the other videos up, but I haven't put them up yet, so we will get the past two plus tonight's put up on the library's YouTube page soon. Can't guarantee how soon, but soon. Good evening, welcome. My name is Sherry Sanderson and I am the library director here at the Boulder Junction Public Library. And joining me tonight are Jane and Josie from the Historical Society. And I also have a special helper tonight. My library assistant Kate is here helping with the technology because the technology needs a whole separate person. And hopefully everything cooperates tonight. So I'm so pleased you can join us. This is our second year partnering with the Boulder Junction Area Historical Society to present Our Story, a monthly history series. And tonight is the last one of this season. It went by so quickly. I'm really excited about the programs we brought out last year and this year. And I will say it, I say it every time, if you have ideas for future programs, we'd love to hear them. I don't know everybody. I don't know every story. There might be somebody out there that wants to share some historical information or for any of our program ideas. So we're always looking for program ideas. That being said, I don't have a list of our upcoming programs, but I just wanted to let everybody know we don't stop programming in the fall, but we definitely slow down and it feels really good. We still keep up with our weekly programs. We have book clubs and mahjong and chat and craft and music gathering and I'm forgetting one, tech time, tech help. And we will have a few family-oriented programs coming up. We're going to have the Vilas County ADRC here in October to talk about elder benefit specialists because it's going to be that time of year to do your Medicare. Oh, I always say it. Is it Part C and Part D enrollment? Or is it B and C? It's one of those letters. So they're going to be here. So instead of railing off all these dates and times that are just going to be lost in your brain afterwards, I remind everyone, check out our website and our Facebook page. They're all there. So as we book another event, we put it on both places so you can find it. And we send a press release to the Lakeland Times. Hopefully they get it there. And we put it out on the digital sign. So when you're driving by and you forgot, it reminds you. So we try to tell everything and everywhere. And just going to bring up something that's very important. And I brought it up at our last program because that whole program was about this. But the town of Boulder Junction will be celebrating their centennial in 2027. And that's going to be a big deal. Josie and I both serve on the Centennial Committee, which we've been working for about a year now. And Wendy's also on the committee. We have been working, we have been planning, we have some great stuff coming up, but we need help. And there are two specific ways we need help. The first, and I'm going to say the most important for now because we really want to get more stories. We are trying to gather stories. So last month's Our Story program was all about gathering stories. And we're talking a 5-minute story, a 1-minute story, a silly story, a funny story, a serious story, a story from somebody that's lived here 6 months, a story from somebody that's lived here 91 years. So we want all the stories. So this poster is over on the cart over there. You can scan the QR code. So you can go to this website, the Centennial website later and see how you can submit a story. You can submit a written story or an audio or video story. But I also, for those of you that still like paper, we also have these written forms. So you can just fill out this form and turn it into us. You can turn it into us tonight. You can bring it back to the library or the Historical Society or the town office. We'll take it however we can get it. So we do want to gather these stories. They're all going to be put on our Centennial website and kept there for forever. Like it'll be a resource that people can use beyond the Centennial. We also are going to be putting these stories in our commemorative history booklet that will be sold during the Centennial year. And so, and pictures, sorry, I forgot to also mention, pictures are wonderful too. Pictures and stories that go with the pictures that just stand by themselves, whatever it is. The second most important thing we need is volunteers. So once we get into this planning, we're realizing that the Centennial Committee is not enough people to do all of this by ourselves. So we are looking for volunteers to help either in the planning or the implementing. We're gonna have multiple celebrations going on through the year, a birthday party, a historical performance, an art installation,
Cemetery walk.
cemetery walk, parade at Muskie Jamboree. There's more. And I keep forgetting to say this, and even better, it's gonna be the library's 50th anniversary. So very exciting that we're gonna be celebrating the town's 100th and the library's 50th all in the same year. So I'll put all this back on the cart over there, so if you're gonna go get another cookie before you leave tonight, stop by the cart and take a look. Also on the cart is a sign-up form for our e-newsletter. So a lot of people have asked in the past, how do I keep track of what's coming up that's new? I don't want to be in the not know, I want to be in the know. So if you sign up for our e-newsletter, once a month, we send out an e-newsletter to keep you apprised of what's coming up. So whether it's a change in hours or a new program being added, that kind of thing. So there's a form over there, it's old school with a pen and paper, just sign up with your email address. And we are also trying to gather feedback from all of our programs this year to get a feeling for if we're doing it right, if we're having the right kinds of programs that people like, the right time of day, the right day of the week, what can we improve on, what did you love? So there is a paper feedback form, it's very short, or you can scan the QR code on the fly over there and also go to the online form and submit your feedback online. So I would love it if you guys signed up for the newsletter tonight and also gave us some feedback about the program tonight. And I had to get this program in our schedules, get this program in our schedule, because believe it or not, the only time I can think of recently that the Dr. Kate Museum folks were here is we had a story hour or children's summer reading program, but that was years ago. And they have not been here to present since then, and I thought that was something we had to fix. So I'm thrilled that you guys were able to come tonight. I'm thrilled you're going to provide this program to us, and we're going to be able to record it for those that couldn't be here tonight. So please welcome the Dr. Kate Museum folks, who will introduce themselves.
Good evening. I'm Barb Maines. I'm president of the Dr. Kate Museum Board, and I'm also a docent in the museum. But I want you to know I'm from Sainer, so I'm an import. Marsha Doud is here. She is also, she's the curator at the museum. We have several other ones. Roger Early is our marketing person. The three of you stand up, please. These are three of our docents, Joan Wieneman, and again, I know Sherry said it too, but if anybody'd like to donate to volunteer at the Dr. Kate Museum, we're always looking for people. What you see is kind of what we get. We only have maybe 3 more on our board, so we're always looking for volunteers. Our program tonight, we've kind of entitled it Legacy of Community Spirit from Snowshoes to Helicopters. I think I've introduced everybody. It's an honor to be here today or tonight in the place that Dr. Kate called home. It's a special area, and I know there's a lot of you that probably know more about Dr. Kate than we do, but if we're doing something that we forget to mention, and I know Bob is fact-checking us, I'd like to introduce Bob Olson, who is the oldest Boulder Junction person. He's 91 years old. And then we have another special guest, Mike Newcomb, who is Dr. Kate's grandson, is here. And I'm sure there's some Dr. Kate babies here or ABW students that graduated from the school. So please let us know, because we kind of keep track of that. When we had our last anniversary, 70th anniversary, we had a float for all the ABW people and all the Dr. Kate babies. So you can ride a float in our next event if we have one, or if we have one. Dr. Newcomb called this place home because this is where her husband Bill and her children Tom and Eldora lived. And it's humbling to speak of somebody so similar to all of you, but not, we're learning about her, but you kind of know the area more than we do. And for years, our community has hoped to turn the empty lot at the site of where her office was in Woodruff into a museum. This became a reality when Howard Young donated a building, because where the museum currently is, that is where her office site was. But that's not the building. The building is from the hospital. It used to be the Wellness Center many years ago. Volunteers joined the Wisconsin Historical Society in 1986. And in 1988, Woodruff marked the 100th anniversary of the town, and that's when the museum opened in 1988. The Dr. Kate Museum and Historical Society is a nonprofit. We collect and we preserve and we share the stories of Woodruff, of Arborvitae, of Dr. Kate, of the Million Penny Parade, and of the ABW School. For 37 years, museum volunteers have worked to keep our community spirit alive. And if you've seen the different things we have spirit in Woodruff. We have old spirit. We don't have as much young spirit. We need young people, but we've created exhibits that show the Million Penny Parade with 3 different Million Penny Parades. We welcome visitors from all over the world, from Hong Kong, from Israel, Turkey, Mexico, Norway, the United Kingdom, Australia, and Canada are just a few. We've published 3 cookbooks and a coloring book. We've raised funds and awarded 24 scholarships of $1,000 each to ABW students. The community spirit grew when Dr. Kate opened her Main Street office, which she later located to the museum's current site in 1947. She covered 300 miles, making house calls and delivering babies without losing a mother or a baby. And if you come to the museum, we have 3,000 of the babies' pictures on the wall. And you could, if you know your picture or you know somebody, let us know, because we put names on them when we find out who they are. She needed a hospital closer to Rhinelander, or closer than Rhinelander, Tomahawk, or Ironwood, Michigan. And so therefore, we had land, materials, labor, sheets and towels, everything was donated. Monetary gifts were received from the citizens of the town and also from companies. Yet the project remained unfinished. Community spirit became a teaching moment for Otto Burek, a geometry teacher at the ABW school. A devoted physician, an engaged community, an innovative teacher, 17 determined geometry students, and supports from the Northwoods and beyond came together, along with the millions of pennies to build Lakeland Memorial Hospital. The community supported the effort, 1 penny at a time, demonstrating unwavering dedication to the cause. I'm going to ask Roger if he will show the video. This is from PBS, that was on the PBS station.
Kate Pelham dreamt of being a nurse. She faced many challenges, and these trials inspired her to go to medical school. But her father refused to let her. So instead, she went to college and became a teacher in Buffalo, New York. 2 years later, her stepmother died. So she moved to Boston to manage her father's estate. Kate was miserable, hosting parties and dressing prim and proper. Finally, her father agreed to send her to medical school. After Kate graduated from college, she moved to Detroit and opened a medical clinic. That's where she met Bill Newcomb. Kate and Bill fell in love and got married. Sadly, the polluted air in Detroit was making Bill very sick. They moved back to Bill's childhood home in northern Wisconsin. Life was much harder in the Northwoods. 18 miles from town, no electricity, no running water, and no furnace. Lots of good chopping. But she and Bill were happy living in their cabin in the woods. When their first baby died because of another doctor's mistake, Kate turned her back on medicine. For the next 9 years, she didn't give it another thought. Kate and Bill had another baby. When Tommy was 3, he smushed his finger. Kate's expert bandage work impressed the doctor. That winter, Dr. Torpy needed to rely on Kate's medical skills. During a terrible storm, he called Kate and demanded she go save a woman who was dying of pneumonia. Kate saved her life and went to work. Dr. Kate was back. Nothing, not even sinking her canoe, stopped Dr. Kate when someone needed help. Dr. Kate saves thousands of lives every year. She became the community's health officer, helped clean up the water supply, dairies to sanitize milk bottles, and set standards of vaccination in Wisconsin and nationwide. Still, there was more that she wanted to do for her town. The nearest hospital was over 2 hours away. Dr. Kate decided to build a hospital. After saving the life of a wealthy tourist, Dr. Kate was given $1,000 to get started. Construction began, then stopped, then started, and stopped again as money came and went. Building a hospital costs a lot of money, about 1,000,000 pennies worth. Well, exactly, but a group of students had the idea to fundraise for Dr. Kate by organizing a 1,000,000 penny parade. Over 60,000 donations were made. Kate still needed more. So her friends surprised Kate by getting her on a TV show called This Is Your Life, broadcasting her cause nationwide. After that, money piled in. The post office needed reinforcements to carry it all in the mail. Pennies covered the entire gym floor, and the hospital was finished in 1954. At 71 years of age, Dr. Kate Pelham Newcomb passed away. Kate's determination to be a doctor had changed people's lives for the better. She delivered over 3,000 babies, built a hospital, saved thousands of lives, and inspired a generation with her kindness and devotion.
Dr. Kate was quite a remarkable person. I keep saying she was a pioneer, and I don't have her stamina to do what she did. It's like, gotta give her credit. At this time, I'm gonna kind of let Marsha Doud talk a little bit about her expertise. Marsha and her parents have been with the museum for all of the years we've been here. She's kind of one of the alive mannequins that's in there.
Well, it is a labor of love. Telling the story, I've been doing this for 36 years, so I better have good memory tonight to tell you what I like to focus it on is I'm a proud alumni of ABW. And in 1952, the land was donated for a new hospital. And the men and women in the area donated everything they could possibly donate. Bricks, blocks, gravel, labor. And if they didn't have any of those things, they would donate a sheet or a towel. They would do broom sales and bake sales and car washes. The Arborvitae Lions Club men did a song and dance routine called the Big Baby Review, and they raised $1,000 by singing and dancing, and were so popular they went on the road to Merrill. But all the sources of income just ran out. And I like to think it was a miracle, was certainly a coincidence, that right at the needed time in the ABW school, Mr. Otto Burick's geometry class of 17 students were collecting the idea of how much is a million of something. So they debated about all kinds of things, paper clips, corn, different things. And suddenly somebody got the idea, why don't we raise 1,000,000 pennies and give them to the hospital fund? So just 17 students starting in November 1952, sent out letters to their relatives and neighbors. And it was slow going at first, but pretty soon the newspapers, remember newspapers? Back in those days, people read the newspapers, and the newspapers picked up on this pretty novel idea that these kids were collecting pennies to build a hospital. The newspapers all over the world ran the stories. And it became a teaching moment for the whole Arborvitae Woodruff High School. I bet some of you did not know that Arborvitae Woodruff had their own high school from 1940 to 1956. Mr. Olson, who is a Dr. Kate baby and an ABW alumni, went to that school. The school was 1 block from Dr. Kate's office in Woodruff. So in November 1952, these 17 students started on this very questionable concept. Could they really collect 1 million pennies? Well, guess what? In 104 school days, they had collected 1,700,000 pennies from all then 48 states and all continents except Antarctica. And I have to tell you why they didn't get any pennies from Antarctica, because those doggone penguins didn't send in. So to celebrate 1,700,000 pennies, they decided to have a million penny parade, which was held Memorial Day weekend, 1953. 10,000 people came to Woodruff to see the pennies on display in the school gym. They actually had to reinforce the school gym to hold all those pennies. And when people came, they threw in $8,000 more pennies. Barb's aunt, Donna Bain Bassett, was the penny queen. She was one of the 17 students elected by the student body to be queen of the pennies. When you come to the museum, and I sure hope you do, you'll be able to see the video of when Dr. Kate was on This Is Your Life. We thought you'd enjoy seeing this presentation by the Wisconsin Public Television Network. So we have a lot of things at the museum, though. We're not just a medical museum. We show the history of Woodruff, Arborvitae. When you get up, you'll see some of our displays. We have a whole room devoted to the Nestle Down, which was a favorite hangout downtown Woodruff, was a soda fountain. So you'll see some items. We had Woodruff's town pet was named Old Bill. He was such a character. He was a delivery horse, but when he made his deliveries to anybody's home, he wouldn't move forward until he got a treat. And in the winter, he took kids on sleigh rides. He was so popular that when Old Bill died at the age of 30, they closed school in Woodruff so the kids could go to his funeral. You'll also see our little display about ice cutting on Arrowhead Lake. Ice cutting took place there from 1935 to 1985. And that is our rendition of ice cutting and how it was preserved in an ice house with sawdust. And next we have a little memorabilia from the ABW school. A couple things I want to point out. This is one of the favorite things we have at the museum. This is a Houghton Mifflin textbook with a lesson about Dr. Kate and the Million Penny Parade. This came to the museum from Kathy Burrick Patton, Otto Burrick's daughter, who taught in the Eagle River school system, and they used this textbook. It was for 7th grade language arts. This is one of our prize belongings. Now, something else that's really exciting coming up is there's a new book being going to be available on November 13th at the Minocqua Museum. This author will be present to present this wonderful children's book about the Penny Parade and Dr. Kate. It's just a fantastic book. It'll be November 13th at 4 o'clock at the Minocqua Museum, and the author will be there to sign books. We have a huge undertaking coming up at our museum. I'm sure all of you know about the world's largest penny. It was dedicated in 1954, Memorial Day, as a monument to the students who collected the million pennies. It has been sitting there since 1954. It was made by a gentleman from Rhinelander, and the whole interior of the penny is made out of concrete blocks. Well, we've been maintaining this penny, and the museum owns the penny now, but it is just a maintenance heavy undertaking. So the way to keep our penny safe, we have to put a roof on it. And it's going to be a very costly undertaking to the tune of $30,000. So we are going to be starting a major fundraising, but we have to save our penny. It tells the story, it's a monument. I can't tell you how many people go there every single day to see the penny and relate to the story. So I would like to ask a couple of our members to come up. Lori, would you come up, please?
Sure.
This is Lori Berryman.
My father-in-law helped build this place. If anybody knows Jack Berryman, he kind of made himself known. Right in front of you? No. Hold it close. I'm a docent at the Dr. Kate Museum, and I retired from teaching at ABW about 10 years ago. And of course, the last couple of years of teaching, you ask yourself, what am I going to do when I'm done teaching? And this Dr. Kate Museum came to my head. And one of the reasons why I was a little irritated after we had taken my group of fourth graders just on a field trip for the first time, when I got to know how important Dr. Kate was and all the history. Our social studies book at the time had one page, the back of the book about Dr. Kate, one page. And I thought, oh my gosh, she's a celebrity for Woodruff and Arborvitae. Why don't we have more about that about her in fourth grade curriculum? So there is one. The Historical Society made a new textbook, and it's way better, and it has a lot about her in there. So anyway, we decided to we passed this idea on to third grade, who really wanted it. And the third grade kids now have what you'd call a unit about Dr. Kate. And they put it into 3 different trips to come visit the museum, which we love. The first one is just look around, get to know the museum, read some stuff, and then see they get a little bit of that into their head. Then they come back for a second time after they've started reading the book. We didn't bring the books, huh? Yes, they're on there.
Okay. There's one book that's just for 3rd, 4th, 5th graders that the teachers read with them. And they get to know more about Dr. Kate. And they do a lot of discussion and such.
And, the third time, well, then they, the second time, excuse me, they take notes and answer some questions and things like that. And a whole clipboard full of information they need to fill out. And then the last time, it's usually near the end of the school year, they come in with their parents and act as a docent to them, which they love doing. And the parents learn a lot. I've had so many moms come in and say, you know, I've lived here all my life and I've never been in this museum. I'd like to shake them a little bit. Why not? So anyway, so they come in and they give their presentations and parents are pretty impressed. And then they know about Dr. Kate. So when we have talked before about, you know, nobody knows anything, you're from Woodruff and you don't know anything about Dr. Kate, that's no longer happening. The kids from school know something about Dr. Kate, and we're very happy about that. Did I miss anything? Okay.
Now I'd like to have Harriet. Harriet Walker is one of our docents, and she'd like to explain a little bit about being a docent.
It's great to see you all here. I didn't expect such wonderful number of people. Can you hear me? Are we turned on?
Yes.
Like Lori, I got to a time of retirement and thought, what on earth? Well, that's when I met Marsha, and that question was quickly answered. And I became involved with the museum and became a docent maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. And I love it. And I wanted to share with you a couple of stories of things that happened with people who visited the museum. And as Barb had said, people from all over the world. One day a family came in and they were partly from Belgium and partly from Hong Kong. They were all sort of related in one way or another. I didn't get into that. And I love to ask people where they're from, and we like to have them sign the guest book. And one of the women, an Asian woman, said she was from Hong Kong. And I said, that's interesting. My family, my daughter and her family lived there. And so, you know, where and how it was Repulse Bay. And it turned out that that woman was the head of admissions at the American school, and she admitted my granddaughter to the school. And here we are in Woodruff, Wisconsin, talking about it. It was wonderful. And another time that was even more touching. Very recently, a woman came in and she lived locally here and said she'd been to the museum once before, a couple of years ago, and she was there with her granddaughter. And as the other film, that not this one, but the one about This Is Your Life, was on, she looked over at her granddaughter, who was about 17, I think, and there were tears coming down her face. She was so touched by the story. And she said, next month, my granddaughter is entering college, and she's entering college because of that film. She did not have confidence in herself generally. And she saw the story of Dr. Kate and of the community coming together with Dr. Kate for all of their needs. And she decided she was going to go to college. Okay. And she had entered college, or was entering college. Yeah. Yeah. So that, why am I a docent? That's why. And people are so thrilled with the story and with all the things that have been donated from the family and from the community to make the museum what it is. So, thank you.
I want
to just quiz you a little bit, or give you some interesting facts, let's put it that way.
Please.
Do you know the minimum wage in 1950 was 75 cents an hour? Gone up a little bit now. In 1951, the first dialed long distance came about, and saddle shoes and poodle skirts were there. In 1952, the fad was panty raids. I didn't think they got that back there. When I was in college, we had them too, but this was like in the 70s, not 52. The book Positive Power of Thinking was authored. In 1953, the first 3D movie, Boama Devil, came about, and the Playboy magazine begins. I wouldn't know, I was too young. In 1954, the first TV dinner was developed, also the first plastic contact lenses, and Billy Graham's first revival meeting was in 1954. In 1955, the first McDonald's opened. Kentucky Fried Chicken opens also. The Ivy League look, button-down collars, was the in thing. In 1956, stainless steel razor blades came, and also battery-operated watches. And then for the fashion, it was Bermuda shorts. In 1957, the fad was Frisbees and drive-in movies. In 1958, the fad was the hula hoop, and we do have the hula hoop in the museum along with drive-in movies. And one of the things that the third graders get interested in is we have a phone booth. So we tell them to please go in there and, try and dial or try to make a call. They have no idea what to do. And I said, you gotta put money in there. Well, where? And then I put the money, if we show them where, they still don't know what to do. So we show them what to do there. And another big thing is they like the jukebox. It still plays, and actually sometimes I think their parents like it better than the kids. The kids like watching the record be there, but the parents like the music. And then in 1959, the fad was cramming into a phone booth. I don't know if you guys remember that. I even remember that, and I was like, And then the Barbie doll came about. Now there's a lot more things in the museum that we've touched on, but it's just too many things to tell you about. So you've got to come if you haven't been to the museum and check it out. The reason how I got started being a docent was, again, Marsha Doud. I worked at Howard Young Hospital for 42 years, and we always talked about, the Dr. Kate, how it got started. Well, that's my passion, and then I found out my aunt was the first penny queen. It's actually my husband's aunt, but I claim her. And it was just, I've been there ever since. And I know I'm from Sainer, so, I'm kind of an outlaw, but they let me come in and we keep busy. There's so many, the one room has all of Dr. Kate's, her hospital room. It's got the examination table and some of the drugs that are in there. Not so much the drugs as the equipment. It's like, we kind of use some of things like this now. It's not that much of a change, but some of it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's what they used, And when they did the Million Penny Parade, when they brought not the penny parade, I guess so, they brought in the pennies. They had big mail bags that they came in. And like the movie said, they did go right to the school because the post office just couldn't handle it. And the people back then had the wherewithal to keep every envelope that came in. We have every single envelope, plus any notes that were inside saying, this is for Dr. Kate, we appreciate that. They're all at the museum. And we kept that in a book. But on some of the envelopes, you can see it says 3 cents or 10 cents or $1.32. Somebody would open the envelope, somebody take the money out, somebody else would write on, how much money was in there. And then they documented it. And I thought, wow, if we could do that now, now it's computers, so we probably could do it a little bit better, but there was so much there. And, just as a show of hands, how many of you have been at the Dr. Kate Museum? See, there's some of you that we're expecting a trip now. And it's interesting who you talk to there, people like, I think Mike, one of your, I don't know if it was your grandson, somebody has come in and they said, oh, that's my, I think Kathy was who they pointed out.
Yeah.
And said, that's my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, wow, it's really a small world when you look at it and think about it. So, does anybody have any stories they'd like to tell? I'm sure Bob might have some.
Well, when you talk about people not recognizing or seeing your picture, about 30 years ago, I stopped there at the museum with my wife, looking at the pictures that I saw on the wall. And I don't know how it come about, but I'm looking there and I see some of the pictures aren't labeled. And I went to somebody, I don't remember who it was, and I said, how come that one picture is labeled? Well, we don't know who it is. Well, I said, that's me and my twin brother. She was so tickled to write something. I don't know what, she put a slip on it. I don't think she wrote on a photograph.
She probably put a note just, with a slip on
But
it.
I guess I'm gonna have to go back and look.
You might recognize more than you think.
6 months old, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know what Sherry wanted me to tell, other than that Dad was the first baby Dr. Kate ever birthed in the area. Oh, so that's the story, and that's his name, Dan Haig. So Florence, Iva, Haig, and Frederick Haig were his parents, and as far as I know, he was the first baby. I know he was in a parade being the first baby Dr. King ever birthed, but it's just, what I find amazing is that this was when did she start? Well, she was started 1932, but that's when Dad was born, but she must have come to the area about in the 1920s.
Yes. Yes.
Just think about it, in just over 100 years, what kind of stuff has changed and what hasn't changed.
Right.
And what hasn't changed is the community and all the caring that people do and taking care of one another.
Right.
And that, I think, is just really awesome.
I think that comes with small towns, because you see that in all the towns up here. It's something. Yes.
You forgot to mention Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh, yes, yes.
Well, when I worked at Howard Young, I started in 1977, and we had dedicated the new hospital, which was the Howard Young Medical Center. But Elizabeth Taylor's great uncle, Howard Young, gave us $20 million with the stipulation we could only spend so much. And but the other conditions were, we had to name it the Howard Young Medical Center, and the front entrance had to be like Jefferson's Monticello. And if you go into the front of the hospital, you'll see that it's the Monticello, and we still have the name. Even though it's Aspirus, it's Howard Young Medical Center - Aspirus.
One of the individuals invited to that was Tom Newcomb.
Okay.
And when Tom came back to the cabin that day, he said, I'll never wash this cheek again because Elizabeth Taylor kissed me right here.
Yeah, she was quite the person. I remember people saying that they could have swore they saw Elizabeth Taylor in Minocqua. And I said, well, you probably did. She was in town for the dedication. Oh, then they kind of look at you weird. But I remember being invited to the Dr. Kate or the Howard Young estate when I worked at the hospital. But J.C. Thompson, who is the head of the owner of the Thompson grapes, the green grapes, he would also bring flats of grapes into the hospital, and everybody could, have it. But we were invited out to the house, but it seemed like it was only the women got invited out to the house. And I thought, that's interesting. And then, you know, we went out there and all of a sudden, he'd have the drinks would come, and then the next, later that would, you know, come, it was like, we couldn't figure out how he's doing it, but apparently there was a button under the table that he would step on. And then the butler would bring the next, you know, version. It was very interesting, but it was going back to Elizabeth Taylor. She would fish out there, and Ike Eisenhower came out there. So it's, you know, there's a lot of famous people. And I know Dr. Kate probably would say, I'm not famous, but you know, she was. She was very, very humble. And she also went to all of the campgrounds in the area, taking care of the campers. Can you imagine? Think about how many campgrounds are in the area, meaning Manitoush, Eagle River, or not Eagle River, Minocqua, Arborvitae, Woodruff. There's just Lac de Flambeau. Yeah, a lot of them. It was unbelievable how many. Bob, am I getting the facts right now?
Well, I was gonna say, Elizabeth Taylor used to stay up at the Cox's on Wildcat also.
Yes.
That's where I met her. And
Okay.
both at a different time, Eisenhower too stayed there.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. We had a call from CBS News. Gillian Morley. She wanted to do a story on the museum or on the pennies. And as it turns out, she said, well, she had to check with the powers that be, but when she checked with them, they said, oh no, it's too hard to get to. And of course, the hair on my neck went up and I thought, well, Ike Eisenhower got here, Elizabeth Taylor got here, all these other, Kevin Costner had a place here. Bill Murray has a place over in the Eagle River area. There's, you know, it's not that hard to find. We have airports up here. We're not that far in the airports, but they thought it was too remote to bring them up here. But we haven't given up on it. And we do have a film screen that will be done. Well, it's in its 4th draft right now, so we're not sure when it'll be done, but he's been working on it. And he's from New York, and he was here for our 70th anniversary. Sean Conrad, and we keep, you know, in touch with them and saying, how's it coming? Because we really would like, you know, to have the film. And so we're just gonna wait and see what happens. So, Mike?
You talked earlier about the mail coming in on the train, and what I remember about that is another form of delivery of the pennies. People would paste the pennies into a coloring book on the pictures. They'd paste them all full, and I remember the complaints about having to soak those coloring books to get the pennies off the pages. And another thing that, and again, this is from my adult perspective, we have the slides to prove it, that a lot of the mail came off the train and went downtown, into downtown Woodruff to all the taverns, and they had people with tables set up in the taverns to count the money and everything. And I was just, and again, as an adult, not a child, I was thinking, boy, Grandma Kate wouldn't have really gone for that.
I suppose they were, and then you have people, you know, getting volunteers, you know.
Oh, I know, but I just got my little giggle out of that.
Yeah, you're right, she wouldn't probably
Did
appreciate
I
it.
say something?
Sure.
About that? Dr. Cave was
Come up here and say.
Dr. Kate was a member of the Women's Christian Temperance Union. And so you're right, Mike, she would not have approved of it.
Dan Higgs, relative.
Yep.
What, did you also spend some time at the Dr. Kate, nursing home?
He did.
I saw him
He
there.
did.
Yeah. I had Jake in my class.
Oh, there you go. See, family's just all
Yep.
around here.
Yeah.
Vicky doesn't wanna say, oops, I'm on. Vicky doesn't wanna say, but you know how Dr. Kate's world stretched, and I mean, she delivered my dad. And Vicky was born when my dad served during Korean War in Puerto Rico, and he worked on those big B-36s.
peacemaker, never dropped a bomb that could have, carried enough to blow everything up. So it was a peacemaker. So Vicky was born in Puerto Rico, and Mom, and Vicky came home about a month or two before, my dad got back and lived up here. So my mom moved from Chicago, was born in Chicago, met my dad here, got married down in Puerto Rico. And the first time she met her mother-in-law was when she moved in with her after Vicky was born. But Vicky was just a few years old, and Dr. Kate came and checked on her. She wasn't feeling well, and Dr. Kate told Mom and Dad, it's okay, it's the flu, but we're gonna get through this. 2 days later, she broke out in chickenpox. So she wasn't always perfect, but she was always caring and always there.
Yeah, she was. Yes, okay,
Yeah, I have two quick comments, but first of all, is it Mike Newcomb? Yeah.
yes.
You remind me of your grandma Kate. I knew her and your smile. Oh, your smile is so much like Dr.
I
Newcomb's.
don't think anybody's ever said that.
When you smile, her eyes were just so sparkly, and she was always such a happy, caring person.
Oh.
My family lived on the south side of Island Lake, and of course, they were on the north side of Island Lake. And I'm wondering, is anybody in her, do you still have the property there?
Yeah, in fact, I was surprised, you mentioned the centennial here in town. This is the Newcomb's 100th year of ownership of the Rice Creek property, and next year will be the 100th year occupancy of the Rice Creek property. Yeah.
Is your family still?
It was good friends, my parents, good friends.
I know, at the 70th anniversary, we
Good
did,
luck, good plan.
people were saying that there was pennies at her gravesite. So people still leave pennies. I don't know if you've seen that, Mike, at your mom or grandma's grave.
In fact, I stopped on the way in and put some on her.
Did you? Yeah. And one day we were just, after we got done with the museum, we decided to just go check out how far Boulder Junction, where she lived, was. And I thought, I can't believe where your cabin is, but that's where she lived and had to come into all these areas. Oops, sorry. It was just unbelievable, but the cabin was there and your caretaker was there. So he just showed us where the cabin was and where the lake was and where the train came in. And it's like, wow.
She had like an efficiency apartment at the office, and she spent a lot of
Time there.
especially winter.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe it, because I thought, boy, she's really a pioneer. But, yeah, and if you haven't seen the This Is Your Life,
It's on YouTube.
yeah, it's on YouTube, so you can check it there, but it's more important for you to come to the museum.
Well, yes.
And check it out there.
When we put this video, our YouTube page will link that,
Okay,
those other two videos as well, so they're all in the same place.
okay. Harriet?
The hours for the museum.
Okay, we are closed for the season right now, but we're open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and we open at 11 until 3 every day. And we always try to have a couple docents there. And we do have elderly docents. I know Harriet's husband was there one day helping us when the girls or the third graders were there. And this little boy's eyes got really big, and I said, "What's the matter?" That mannequin moved, and it was Harriet's husband. That mannequin doesn't move. But Bill's always very quiet, and he stands there and just listens. That's my memory of the third graders, but it's so proud, you're so proud to see those third graders tell their parents about, just describing things, and it's like, wow. If nothing else, we did get one, maybe two third graders, or now one is an 8th grader that wants to volunteer at the Dr. Kate Museum. If you'd like to volunteer, we have forms over there. We have junior volunteer forms. We have things for sale also, so.
And I want to just say one thing we're going to do next year. This is a big undertaking. We're doing a new exhibit, 250 Years of America. So our current museum, everything that's Dr. Kate Penny Parade related will stay, and the Nestle Down will stay, but the rest of it's going to be a celebration of 250 years. That's really quite an undertaking. So anybody who has an item that they might, or an idea, please, we need help.
Anything else question wise or stories you'd like to share? Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you all coming out tonight. It was wonderful. Thank you.